in Jingle Bell Square in the frosty air. What a right time, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet, jingle around the clock. Mix and a mingle in the jingling beat. That's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell ride. Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear the voices singing, let's be jolly. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone's dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. Hey! You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear the voices singing, let's be jolly. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone's dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest episode of I'm No Joe, your home for all things combat sports, and the place where every armchair quarterback can feel like Eddie Bravo. The views and opinions presented on the I'm No Joe channel belong solely to the person expressing them, no one else. If we say it, that means we meant it. That being said, this show does contain adult themes, adult content, and general shit that you shouldn't be letting your kids intake. Be advised, viewer discretion is recommended. Proceed at your own risk. You've been warned. Was the last show of the year, but there weren't any fights, so we're doing the best of. What a fucking delight. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate Yuletime age, to the final 2023 episode of the I'm No Joe podcast, a show where every little elf can feel like Eddie Bravo. Today, as like most days, we have got the full crew here with us to break down all the shit talking and shenanigans, the coal givers and the coal receivers throughout the best of 2023. Oh my goodness, we survived. So before we get into all the fun and fuckery, how the hell you doing over there, boys?
Gone through little withdrawals already, knowing I got a month. Anybody got some fights?
I tell you, street brawls are looking almost appealing.
That backyard beef, man. I have to watch some of those and be on YouTube for a minute now.
Man.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm not looking forward to the next fucking month, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself because the Chiefs have been on rocky waters. So being a football fan's rough this year. I'm hopping on that bandwagon that things are starting to feel a little rigged. It's turning into the WWE a little bit with these referees, man. Give me some fights. I agree. I love that the brother meter's all festive though, making me happy as we're coming on Christmas.
The one time a year you get it, and this is as much as you get.
Yeah, you could have watched the show last night. You would have got festive out of me.
I was
I get
gonna
it
say
once
you
a
just
year
seen,
too.
yeah, he got the other, you got the other half out of him yesterday. This is what you get for this year. So, all right. That being said, we do have the tiniest little sliver of news that have shaken down the pipeline, including one that literally we caught as we were getting ready to go live. It just shook down the damn pipe. So we will go over these real quickly for you here. Uh, First and foremost, if somehow you have been living under a rock since last weekend and you have not seen the footage of Sean Strickland going after Dricus Duplessis in the audience, we got a confirmation that I did not realize that we needed, but oh my goodness, does it make a significant amount of difference? Bruna Burns, Gilbert Burns's wife, who was the one that you see in the video that Sean asked to move, said very clearly that they weren't worried about moving because the thing that most people didn't hear is that the whole time the cameras were pointed at them, Dricus was challenging Sean to fight right then and there. And Sean heard him say it multiple times before he very politely turned and asked Gilbert to make sure the family moved aside and then went to handle his business. She said, in their opinion, Sean was absolutely entitled to do what he did and handled himself the professional way. So there was a lot of speculation early on because the video that came out initially was not the video that we got fixed by the UFC truck folk, but it is interesting to see that it for once was not just Sean Strickland being a psychopath. Sean actually was in this situation being a very genuine, measured individual in what could have been a very crazy scenario. So I will say, as odd as it feels, props to Sean Strickland for not being your typical crazy self and having the presence of mind to make sure that the women and children were out of the way before you handled the man dance. Props to
Give
that, sir.
that whole part sees buddy thing. Two big thumbs way up.
Yeah.
Two things we
And
learned. He's not going to hurt women and children. Also, if you come to his house looking like you're going to rob it, expect a gun in your face.
absolutely.
Gotta love both of
Absolutely.
those things. Yeah, I love the little scuffle in general, but yeah, especially the fucking trying to, hey buddy, move, to the son and everything. And then Gil's wife kind of coming out in defense of Sean this week too, like saying, nah, like he was like trying to tell us to get the hell out of the way, and then after the fact, he texted Gilbert, I guess, is what Gil's wife said, just to make sure that
Yep.
the wife and kid were fine, didn't get hurt in the whole situation. Right? So he's actually not the worst guy in the world. What do you know? He's a typical American. He's a little bit fucking crazy, believes
Right.
some conspiracy theories, say some stupid shit, but got a great heart at the end of the day.
Yeah. I will
Yeah,
say it's
I'd take him in my corner.
yeah. There was a lot worse ways that whole fucking scenario could have played out. So given what we got, given or versus what we could have got, and then now especially with Burns's wife, who was literally the closest person to the scenario that there was, giving her firsthand result, like, all right, Sean, you're getting away on this one. Let's not make it a habit, but we'll give you a pass on this one here. So now somebody on the other side of things who I'm not 100% certain is going to get, nor should they get a pass coming out of this one here, is the hangman, Dan Hooker. While he is still slinged up with his arm, he went on a Australian, I believe it was Australian. I apologize if it was a New Zealand, but I believe it was Australian radio show, and has an ongoing quote unquote, for those listening, bit with one of the show's producers, where he tries to put him in different submission moves, and because quote unquote, MMA isn't real to most folks, so he's given him a little learning lesson of real submissions a couple of times, and he's come back to give them another one while his arm is healing. He's gonna do the triangle and show them how dangerous the legs are. I believe Dan asked him to say something to the effect of, "I got this," while he's being choked, to let him see exactly how hard it is to try and communicate while one is being sunk on you. So Dan rolls up, got his slung arm out so he's not getting hurt, and he rolls the guy over, and he gets in, and you can hear, it's funny. Everybody laughs. And the guy's like, "Nah, that was bullshit. Let's go again." Dan, you could see immediately, like, the spark in the corner of Dan's eye, like, oh, so you're going to be a tough guy this time. Okay. So we go again then. And then Dan wraps him up, and you can see this time Dan throws that leg over when he pulls that motherfucker in, and you hear dude gurgle a little bit, but he still managed to get out. Okay, bitch. And then when Dan lets him go, he's like, "Nah, that wasn't shit." He's like, "We can do this." And Hooker's like, Are you for real right now?" And the dude's like, "No, we can go again. I'm ready to go again right now." And so Hooker's like, "Okay." And this time, like, at this point, if I was any of Dan's friends or representatives in the room, I'd have been like, "Dan, that's enough. That's enough. He's clearly playing the bit, and we all know that he's gonna go home and put an ice bag on his esophagus. Let's not." But no, they let him go. So Dan wheels all the way back, and, like, from a mile away, throws it in and locks it, and then pulls it fucking tight, and almost immediately you see the dude's hand, like, tapping, and then slump, and then Dan lets him go, and the dude is out and then comes back too. Dan put him all the fucking way out, and apparently that was part of the bit with the guys that run the show and whatnot, but still, like, even knowing that it wasn't done, like, I don't know, something about it felt kind of fucking weird. Like,
I'm for that kind of thing. If people are going to say it's not real, let them get put to sleep. That is the safest way rather than breaking a fucking arm. You cut off blood for about 10, 15 seconds. It's not going to cause brain damage. He lets him go, lets him wake right back up. It's like you felt like you got a 45-minute fucking nap. You feel great when you wake up.
I agree, but at the same time, that dude didn't know that he was going to sleep, and he tapped. That's the whole purpose of having a tap in martial arts, so you don't actually hurt somebody. And if that dude knew, like, it's different when Steve-O tells John Jones he wants to be choked the fuck out, and he doesn't tap. He just, gives him his neck, and he knows it's coming. It's a different thing when a dude thinks he's just rolling with Dan Hooker, and a tap, like any other situation, should get him out of it, and then he gets choked unconscious. That's where I have a little bit of issue with it.
Here's the issue I have with that, though. If twice you say that's bullshit, third time, no, make it fucking real. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Third time, fuck you, you're going to sleep. There is no excuse, tap or not, put that motherfucker to sleep. 100% pass.
I'm not saying he didn't ask for it. I'm just saying that's not what he thought he was signing up for.
Oh, he knew what he was signing up. He let his alligator mouth overload his canary ass. That's what happened.
I agree that he asked for what he got, for sure, but...
Well, you can't be mad at Dan for giving the guy what he asked for. It's kind of like saying,
I'm just saying it's
I
weird.
want a fucking car. I give you a car, but now you're mad at me because I gave you a car? No, fuck that nonsense.
Just a little weird, man. If I roll up asking for a Camaro and you send me out in a VW, we're still going to be a little awkward.
You got a fucking wheels. Same concept. Just might not be as fast or as pretty as the one you wanted.
Oh, good shit. No, it's nice to see that Dan isn't sitting home and feeling sorry for himself right now. He's still out about living his best life. So good on Dan. Now we did get a couple of very interesting fight announcements. There was only a couple, but everyone that we got were very, very interesting here. So the first one that we've got, UFC Vegas 86, February 10th from the Apex. 50K Dan Ige getting back in there against Lerone Murphy. In my opinion, a very, very winnable fight for Ige, and puts him right back on the right path in the conversation at the fucking top again. He's not getting a title shot off this, don't get me wrong, but he needs a big boost. And with the role that he's on right now, if he goes out and shuts Lerone Murphy the fuck down, that's going to give him a lot of what he needs, in my opinion. So I think it's a winnable fight for him. I like the matchup. I think it's going to be a good fucking fight. Turning around after that, UFC 298, February 17th, the next week. This is the one that just came down the pipe before the show went live. Robert Whitaker versus Paulo Costa. Bobby Knuckles versus the Secret Juice is official. I's have been dotted. T's confirmed. Ink is dry. Those boys are going to allegedly step in the cage together. Like I was telling Christian earlier, I am more concerned about this fight actually coming to fruition than how the fight could end, given Costa's elbow situation, because I saw the pictures of the giant chunks missing from the flesh of his arm, and that's not something that you can just get back in because you quote unquote feel ready for it. Like you're physically missing pieces of the meat of your arm from this scenario. Like you have to take time to heal, period, full stop, end of sentence. Whether he will actually be healed enough to step into that cage on February 17th or not is what I'm really concerned about, because if he is, Bobby Knuckles is going to make sure that's an interesting fight one way or another. But if he's not, I don't want to see Bobby Knuckles get fucking pulled out on him, fight week or something, because, Costa's trying to do the same shit that he did last time. That's where I'm really concerned. If he can pull his shit together and his elbows healed in time, I'm down, because that's going to be a fun fight, however it shakes loose. But a man was missing serious chunks of his elbow, so I have doubts. We'll see. That being said, one of the biggest announcements of last weekend that Dana just tried to kind of nonchalantly slide on through like it wasn't even a big deal. The UFC has officially signed Michael Venom Page, and he will be making his debut at UFC 299 March 9th in Miami against none other than Big Mouth himself, Kevin Holland. Holland was chirping trying to step in for Luque this last weekend, and Dana said that it just wasn't something he was going to be able to do, but we didn't know why. Well, it turns out because Dana had a contract to fight MVP on a pay-per-view card on his way to Kevin. That's why he wasn't going to let him step in and fight fucking play Saluque this weekend. So I think this is a much better fight. I think Kevin is smart enough to know what MVP is going to try to do here. And I think at this point, even Kevin's mediocre wrestling skills can get him real goddamn far against Page, in my opinion. So if he's smart, he could really fucking R. Kelly all over MVP's parade in Miami and have a fun time, maybe get 50 grand bonus doing it. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes loose. I think Kevin can be smart enough to fuck him all up in that fight. It's just a matter of if he's going to be. We'll see.
I hope so. I hope it makes a one and done. Boot that motherfucker out after one fight.
I would love it. I would love it, especially after Dana like half talked shit about MVP when MVP first announced that he was a free agent, then signed him anyway, then gives him to Holland, and Holland just shuts his whole fucking shit down right out of the gate. I would be very amused at that. I'm openly a petty motherfucker, but I would be very amused by that. Then we've got the last official confirmed fight announcement for the UFC in our 2023 presentation. March 16th, location still TBD. They haven't announced it yet. O'Day Osborne stepping in against Rafael Filho. O'Day needs a good fucking win. This could be a very interesting matchup. Rafael is a guy that stepped in last week, or not last week, this year earlier, scared the shit out of Muhammad Mukai, even the first fucking round before Muhammad turned that shit around. So Rafael needs a big fucking turnaround as well. Stylistically, could be a real fun fucking matchup. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I think it's going to be a good one. That being said, this is the final time in 2023 that I unfortunately have to remind you that we have now made it one full calendar year, and Dana White did not get repercussions. Uh-oh. He's waiting.
There's a couple other fights you missed that are official as of this afternoon.
Ooh, what do we get?
UFC Mexico City is going to be headlined by Brandon Moreno, Amir Albazi as the main event. Now, if that's not enough in Mexico City, listen to this co-main event. And it will also be 5 rounds. Number 2, Yair Rodriguez versus number 3, Brian Ortega is the co-main event for that, being 5 rounds. So you're going to get 2 5-round fights on the Mexico City card. And then Bo Nickel will be stepping back into the octagon at UFC 300. Who the fuck is he fighting? I cannot remember off the fucking hand, but I do remember distinctly.
Cody Brundage.
Cody Brundage, that's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So those 3 are official as of this weekend, or as of today, within the last couple hours.
Very nice.
So
I did not see any of those. So right on.
a couple of big ones to put it out there. That Mexico City card is going to be fucking fire with
They're
all that.
stacking it, man. They're stacking it for damn sure. I'm here for it. I'm okay with it. Well, that being said, fuck Dana for a whole year. We're not bringing it up again next year, but just know at the end of every news segment next year, it'll still be going right here because fuck Dana White. That being said, with no fights to talk about this weekend, we've got no cans and contenders segment, but we do have a little bit to talk about from last weekend's fun and fuckery. So that will bring us to the only segment of the show that requires its own individual disclaimer. Tapology.com does not in any way, shape, or form support, sponsor, or endorse the I'm No Joe podcast. Yet. That being said, Tapology.com does offer you the ability to go to their site, create a free account, and make a group of like-minded individuals to make fantasy MMA picks. We made a group just like that. It's called I'm No Bookie, all one word, or Group 965, however you need to find it. The group is open to the public. You are more than welcome and encouraged to make yourself an account, join the group, and let us know who the hell you are so we can hold you accountable like we do with ourselves in a little segment we call Tapology with TJ.
All right. We've got 2 important things to go over this week. One of them being last week's event, UFC 296, Edwards and Covington. Also, our in-house Grand Prix. I'm going to start with last week and a couple of honorable mentions for the year overall, just in regards to picks and things like that. So we're going to start with last week, UFC 296, Edwards Covington. Covington looked like shit. Absolutely terrible. To be honest, that's what happens. He fucking ring rusted, talked too much shit. Even the former president, walked out during his fucking in-ring speech, which was fucking great. Not really your friend, buddy. Sorry. Anyhow, to no one's fucking surprise in our group, again, Donna has taken the top spot. And I say to no one's surprise because that has been the theme of the fucking year. Like, it was a joke about hiring a fucking dishwasher repair guy. Starting to think we might need to take that seriously at some point if some of us actually want to win. All I'm going to say is it's a good thing she did not get herself entered into the fucking goddamn Grand Prix, because otherwise it would have been havoc for everyone. Now, as far as everyone's picks are concerned, kind of a strange fucking week. Most everybody got 50% or better. 2 of us did not. And I say of us did not, including myself. However, I did not end up in the bottom spot. Namely, because I had a couple of perfects in there, saved my fucking ass. Taking that bottom spot, fucking Don. I swear, Don and Donna are like fucking bookends. Every time she wins, Don is at the bottom. They're just sandwiching everybody else in between. So he rolls out his dick. She slaps everybody on the top of the fucking head. It's a win-win across the board for them. I mean, I guess you're taking the most important spots we talk about. So I guess they're both winning in this case, some weird way. But overall, like I said, a couple of things that I did want to touch on for picks this year. Overall, we went well above the 500 mark as far as a group in our picks, well above it. So hats off to everybody in the I'm No Bookie group 965. If you're not a member, come join us for next year. Also, again, to nobody's surprise, Donna took more top spots over the year than anyone else. I wish I could say I was joking, but she absolutely fucking murdered it this year. Don, you had a pretty rough year. His best placing was when we went to Kansas City and he made last minute picks while we were eating fucking before we went into the T-Mobile Arena. Strange to say, but I think that may have been his best fucking week of picks ever. He had that probably of all of the weeks to do great. Don gets the MVP of the year for that. Goes to the live show with us. Fucking takes the top spot in picks. I don't know. That's an MVP for me, fucking of the year. Now, picker of the year, obviously Donna. Everybody else is a close third. And I say a close third because we're not fucking catching up for some odd reason. We've all had our shining moments this year, but unfortunately, just hasn't been our luck this year. Hopefully, in the new year, it'll change. Now, with that being said, there's one other thing we do need to talk about, and that is the fucking Grand Prix event that we did here. Now, as far as the Grand Prix event is concerned, this is where I can say I lucked out. I scored just enough points to keep myself in the top spot in the Grand Prix. I think, Meter, you're right behind me still with that. So 1 and 2, and Christian and Vinny respectively there. Next year, we need to get more people in on it when we start doing these Grand Prix. I don't know if we're going to do a spring one. We'll figure that out. Or a spring or summer or fall, winter one. We just did the winter one this time around. So
yeah, that's the goal, is to be able to do one every quarter, and that'll give us a couple weeks to figure out who all is going to be in it and then what events we're going to include in it before it has to get started, because it does require a certain amount of weeks to be able to make it an actual event.
Yeah, so, and being as everybody already makes their picks on here that we talk about regularly, we'll see if we can get some more of y'all in here. Please join us. Let us know who you are. We'll talk shit about you, tell you when you're doing well, pat you on the back. Good luck beating Donna. I'll give you some lube because you're about to get fucked every week, just like the rest of us. That's all we can do for that. But look forward to picks again in a month, and month of actually being able to give you odds and stuff. What's coming up? Because no odds this weekend. Odds are you're not going to be watching the UFC this weekend unless it's a fucking replay. There's your odds for this week.
I'd take the over on that.
Well said, sir.
Thank you very much for that, sir. Much appreciated, as always. So, like I kind of mentioned earlier, with no fights this weekend, we are going to do the best of 2023, in our opinion. We have got a couple of categories that we all kind of talked about. We all agreed. These are the few, because there's a lot of shows out there that literally make like 4 and 5 hour long, drawn out fucking bullshit streams where they're talking about best fucking ring girl and best location having fucking food at the venue, and like real stupid fucking categories that nobody really gives a shit about, and it doesn't really deserve enough time on a show. But it uh-oh, what is this? In the middle of the best of the 2023 segment here, what could be happening?
Let's talk about the best pit champion. How about that's what we talk about? That's me. Ho, ho, ho.
Santa Clown Hunter is in the house.
That's what we're talking about today. Best pit champion of the year. Dun, 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 dun. How's everybody
I'll
doing?
agree.
It's having
Doing good.
I just want to say that was not on my docket to know about. God damn it.
We made a whole new category. It's called Punched Out with Clowns.
I'll tell you what, Clown Puncher, I will give it to you this year only because I was not ready. Had I been ready, it would have been somebody else.
I would
But
have seen areolas again.
you win via surprise.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Good shit. I think that's official then. We'll go. Best pit champion of 2023, the Clown Puncher.
Dun dun dun. Love you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, sir. So, as is a great demonstration there for best pit champion of 2023, it officially is now the Clown Puncher. That being said, we got a couple of categories here we are going to run down. So pour yourself a drink, light yourself a Yule log, sit back and relax. This is the I'm No Joe best of 2023. So, gentlemen, I figure the best way to start this off would be the most wanted, because that's the only one that's not actually a 2023. It's a 2024, but I think it's worth including here. I agree. So one that we did agree on that's not quote unquote technically a 23, but because it's the end of the year and it's leading us to next year, our most wanted fight. If we've got the imaginary matchmaking pen, the most wanted fight for us in 2024. Gentlemen, who you got for your most wanted?
I've got two and then an honorable mention that is a TBD. One, barring Moreno beats Miro Albazi, I want to see Pantoja Moreno 3. I think Moreno got fucking robbed. He should still have the title, in my opinion. So we need that third because it just needs to fucking happen. The other one, God, I hate to say this because I really like him, but fuck Miocic. I need Aspinall and Jones. Unify the title before there's any other fucking title fights. If not, Jones needs to fucking remove the straps since he's still recovering. And sure, let it be Aspinall and Miocic. But I would like to see Aspinall and Jones unify the title before anything else. Now, my fucking honorable mention is going to be Marab versus whoever the current bantamweight champ is after this upcoming O'Malley fucking Cheeto Vera fight.
Yeah.
Marab has been sitting there not taking the fucking belt because Aljamain, speaking of which, that I missed too. Aljamain got his fucking he's got a fight coming up now, moving up a division, and he will be fighting fucking Calvin Cater. I forgot about that one. That one is signed, inked, ready to go. So he did move up officially to the fucking featherweight division, which for him, I think that's a bad move because those are some bad motherfuckers up there. But hey, whatever. So I think Marab, in my opinion, that's my other wishful fight of the year. I want Marab versus whoever the champ is. It's his turn for a crack at the fucking belt. He's been sitting there way too long now getting that crack.
Interesting indeed. I can definitely get down with those. What do you think, Christian? What are you looking forward to the most in 2024?
So, like TJ, I got a couple of them. So, the one I'm the most excited about or would like to see the most is Pereira versus Jamal Hill. A really fucking electric light heavyweight fight. I mean, I wanted to see the Yuri fight versus Jamal, but we also got an announcement. There was a shit ton of them, right? Dana did a little YouTube video. I sat here, was watching it while you're running through the news segment, and forgot to mention this one as well. Yuri is going to be facing fucking Alexander Rakic.
Good.
At the start of
it's a fight that should have been made to begin with. I agree.
So, I mean, we could still see Jamal Hill Yuri happen or the fucking rematch against Alex Pereira because the winner of that's probably fucking next in line again. But yeah, Jamal Hill gets healthy. That'd be a good fucking one to see. And then you got Islam versus Gaethje for me. Like Gaethje stepping in. He's the baddest motherfucker. I don't see anybody else in the lightweight division that should deserve the shot more. So I'd be a lot more excited to see that fight than Charles getting the rematch. But either one of those fights, I feel like would be bangers, and excited to fucking see next year.
Hell yeah. I can get behind either one of those. So I've got two over on my side as well here. My actual one that I want, and then an honorable mention here. So my honorable mention, I will say both of mine are actually up weight classes from where the traditional fights for all these fighters involved take place currently, at least. The first one, my honorable mention, if Aljo is bound and determined to go up to 45, yeah, the Cater fight could be interesting, but honestly, I don't give a fuck about Calvin Cater, and I haven't for a long time. Even if he does look good against Aljo, so what? It's Aljo coming up to 45. That doesn't really count. If you want to let Aljo move up to 45 and you want to make it actually fucking mean something, the fight that I want to see made is Aljamain Sterling versus Piotr Jan at 145 pounds. They both cut a shit ton of weight, and we know that the less weight you cut, the more power transfers. If Aljo really wants to play that game about how he quote unquote took Jan's best shot and walked through it, cool. Cut 10 less pounds and let him clip you in the fucking chin again. See if we're singing that same fucking tune when it's all said and done, because I bet you we ain't. That being said,
Oh yes.
my actual one that I want to see, again, this is our fantasy. I've got the fucking matchmaking wand. It's been discussed. This move has been discussed, but it hasn't been done officially for obvious reasons just quite yet. But that doesn't mean it isn't going to happen. And I think this summer could be as good of time as any, forbidding anything between now and then happening to prevent it. Heavyweight battle that nobody knew we needed yet. Jailton Almeida versus Alex Pereira. Alex walks around at about 240 pounds and has said multiple times that before he is done, he fully intends to fight at heavyweight to see what it's like to not have to cut anything. And that's exactly what Jailton Almeida does. He walks around about 235 pounds, whether he's fighting at light heavyweight and he cuts down to 205, or he's fighting at heavyweight and he just walks on the scale at 231, giving zero fucks against dudes that are cutting to make 265. They're both about the same frame. They're about the same size, but stylistically they are very different. And if you don't make either one of them cut weight, it could get real interesting, in my
I
opinion.
would even like that at a catchweight fight.
Right? Just let them figure something out.
Fuck yeah, that'd be a fucking banger.
Yeah, that's my 2024 wish card. So, from there, I believe it would be a disservice if we did an end of year show and didn't honor Christian with a canon contender of the year. I mean, it's only fitting. We went over the odds to close the show out. We obviously don't have fights this weekend for him to give us a canon contender of the weekend, but I would be remiss if we didn't take this opportunity for us to run down our canon contender of the year. I sure as hell have got one for both categories here. I'm guessing you gentlemen were able to pull together a canon contender as well. Oh, look at TJ. He's got all sorts of motherfuckers ready to go in front of that bus.
Yeah, I got a couple of them. I couldn't just leave it to one. I'll start with the contenders first this time around. Normally start with the cans with my segment, but you know, we're talking about the fucking shit of the year. I just feel like these contenders are easy. It's just obvious. Bo Nickel. I mean, he hasn't fought a lot this year. He had that little injury and shit, so we didn't get to see him here at the end of the year. But obviously, I feel like he is one of the up and coming contenders in general. He's going to eventually be a champion for sure in my eyes. So, I'll always reign that ever since we saw Bo on the contender series that he's going to be one of those huge fucking contenders. And we're going to see him around for a long time. He's going to be special. And Halton Almeida, like the really active aspect of this year. Yeah, Halton Almeida, seriously, working out to be contender of the year. Going to be fighting Curtis Blades at the start of next year.
Yeah.
He beats Curtis Blades, you're up in the top 5, so then he's in that fucking mix. It's just that aspect of John being hurt and them wanting to fucking go to Stipe is just making a fucking roadblock at the top so that those two young guns and Tom Aspinall and Halton Almeida will probably have to fight each other towards the end of next year. Like if Almeida runs through Curtis Blades, it's probably what we'll wind up seeing. But I definitely feel like he just tore through everybody. He fucking made a big name for himself and is one of those scary motherfuckers to look forward to in the future in a heavyweight division. Or like Meter touched on, motherfucking kid could go down to light heavyweight. Just the same. You keep bouncing around like Hamzat was doing with fucking welterweight, middleweight. So I'm really excited for the future of both those guys. Definitely think they put on some fucking good performances this year. So they're my contenders of the year. As for my cans of the year, this may surprise some people, but I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't go for anybody that just kind of got their way in the UFC and just hasn't looked good, right? I went for motherfuckers who've been in the UFC for a fat minute. And one guy has really been on a long ass losing streak and needs to just call it quits. And that's Tony Ferguson. I mean, we saw it again this weekend. He had a gas tank still. That was the best that we could say. But against a kid with no defense, damn near no skill, and got gassed after the first round, Tony couldn't pull it together. There's no reason in hell he shouldn't have won that fight against Paddy Pimblett. And at the end of the day, the biggest reason is just that damn youth, I suppose. He couldn't get enough fucking done, even though the kid was gassed and the kid's got no genuine skill, in my opinion. He's a decent grappler. That's the best thing you can say about Paddy Pimblett, right? But we've seen it out of this kid. He did win a slight bit of respect back from me with how, he presented everything after the fight compared to the Jared Gordon situation, being a cocky little asshole thing, and he didn't lose, This situation gave Tony the respect he was due and actually argued the fact that he didn't want to see Tony retire. I enjoyed that shit, but I do feel like it's time for Tony. That's what 7-fight losing streak now. It's just time, man. He's the can of the year in my eyes because he's fought 3 or 4 times this year, lost every damn one of them, and he's looked worse every fight. And in all honesty, the past couple of years, every fight just kind of looking worse. He is still fighting tough ass dudes, but actually the competition's been getting lower and lower. That's how that goes. As he's lose, drop it, and it just keeps looking the same way. So the other one that's a big surprise. It's not necessarily the guy lost a lot this year, but it was one of the most embarrassing performances that I think we've seen, really, especially out of a champion. Throwing Aljamain Sterling in the can. Even if he's taking the step up to featherweight, respect to that, because like you guys mentioned, there's some fucking killers up there. I don't think he's going to do too hot at 145. He wouldn't have done too hot against some of the guys at 135, like Meter throwing out that little thing, fight Jan at 145 again. He wouldn't do that because he knows what would happen, I feel like. That's kind of why the dude's running away from the division at this point. He got embarrassed by fucking Sean O'Malley. I mean, come on. In all honesty, even you guys, as much as you didn't like the dude as champion, and a lot of other fans didn't like Aljamain Sterling as champion, we all kind of thought he was easily going to win that fight against Sean O'Malley.
You loved pouring sugar on yourself. Don't lie.
Hey, that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the embarrassment of Aljamain, right? He should have won that fight, even if I enjoy the whole, little bullshit, entertainment aspect of the clown that O'Malley is. I get a kick out of that shit, yeah.
Oh, shit.
But I'm a lot happier Sean Strickland, out of the Seans that's champions right now. I'm backing Sean Strickland a hell of a lot more than O'Malley. I'm rooting for Cheeto in the next fucking fight. I always like Cheeto more than O'Malley. I got my favorites. There's levels to it, but it was so embarrassing, right? To go get put out in the first round by O'Malley, and everybody, in all honesty, actually gave the dude slight respect. Thought he was going to run through O'Malley. It was just one of the most embarrassing performances in my eyes this year. So I had to throw Aljamain Sterling in the can, and I don't see where his career ever takes another positive turn after that. Like, he could have stayed at 135, and he was never going to go back up from there. And he's gonna. I feel like he's gonna get what do you call it? Jail fucked by any of the guys. Just bent over raw
Are
here.
you telling me he's dropping the
145?
soap at 145?
Yeah, that's kind of how I view it. So had to throw him in the can. I mean, that's my cans of the year, even if it may be spread. But like I always say, love to hear what you boys fucking have. I know you got some juicy fucking shit too.
All right. Well, my contender of the year, one of them you knocked on right away, Bo Nickel. He's got stardom ahead of him, in my opinion. The one you missed that I think is going to be missed by a lot of people, Tatsura Taira.
Yep.
That is a bad motherfucker. And to be honest, I think he might be at the top of that list with contender of the year with Bo Nickel. He might not have the same fucking stardom right now, but he's definitely working his way there. Now, as far as cans are concerned, I did have Tony Ferguson listed on there, but just as an honorable mention, because I like Tony. 7-fight losing streak. Last win was like in 2020, so like 3 years ago. It's time, dude. It's fucking time. But the two biggest ones, Zara Farron, female fighter out of France, has lost like her last 5. Shouldn't be in the UFC. And then a big boy, Josh Parisian. Let him go. He's looked like shit his last couple outings. There's no reason to keep him there. He's just a fucking spot filler for new guys coming in. And to be honest, I'm not here for that. Let the new guys fight the new guys. And then we determine who stays and gets to start fighting those guys that have been around a while. Oh yeah, that's where I'm sitting with those ones. But that Tatsura though, that one was definitely at the top of my fucking list for contender of the year. Him and Bo Nickel, I was like, I got to give the edge to Bo just a little bit, just because I know that he's gonna rock it. I mean, that's the only one I purposely tuned into the contender series for. Otherwise, not gonna lie, I didn't watch the contender series the rest of the fucking year, except for the ones that Bo Nickel was on. The 2. That's it. I've only watched 2 contender series. Fuck the rest of them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I was gonna give a fucking runner-up or honorable mention and then a regular, but TJ took my fucking regular, so I gotta switch my honorable mentions around here. My contender of the year is absolutely fucking Tatsura Taira, written on the fucking paper, even though the fucking screen won't show it. Yeah, Tatsura is my fucking contender of the year. That kid, strap a fucking rocket ship with wings to his back and get out of his fucking way. That kid is the next generation that we've talked about for years that grew up. Literally, this has been in his life since he was a child, watching it, getting right into it early on. And now he has grown up doing this, and he is developing his young man strength as someone who has watched mixed martial arts his literal entire fucking life and is molding himself to exactly what he needs to be to break all of the fucking walls put in front of him right now. That kid is the goddamn future. I'm telling you, if they give him the opportunities, there is no fucking ceiling for that kid, in my opinion. The other one that I think, just get out of the fucking way and let the rocket ship take off, Erin Blanchfield. She has already stepped up every single time they have tried to throw a typical fucking new can roadblock at her. She smiles her fucking way through it and finds a different way to get past it. When you think she's going to go for a sub game, she's knocking them out on their fucking feet, putting them on their ass. When you think she's going to stand with somebody, nope, defensive fucking wrestling, putting them on their ass, ground and pound. Like, she has got full facets to her game. She just needs to be let go to see what she's really capable of against the top 3, in my opinion.
Just remember when you said her name, that's another one we missed. Another fight that's coming up. Erin Blanchfield, Manon Fior.
Did they give her Minan?
Yes, they did. So that
There's
is going to
been
be
rumors of that for
a 9-win streak in fucking Aaron Blanchfield, and I think it's 11 or 14 currently for
I
Manon.
think it's 11 at Minoron.
So it's gonna be a fucking banger of a fight, and somebody's getting a
got to
title shot out
go.
of that.
They've been rumored. That fight has been rumored for at least 3 months that I know of. I've been waiting to hear them finally.
I knew there
confirm
was one
that.
other one I forgot. It was more than 3 apparently. It was like 6.
I'm fucking here for it, man. There's been rumors of that one floating around for at least 2 to 3 months now. So I'm fucking very happy that they made that, because that is the number one fucking top contender. That's the title eliminator, contender eliminator, that fight right there. Whoever wins between those two, get the fuck out of the way, because I think those two are going to be fighting for the belt if they don't fight, back at number one contender status to get back to the belt again. I think those two are going to be 2 and 3 or 1 and 2 of the division for a long fucking time, man. Now, on the can side of things here, there are 2. I've got a runner-up or honorable mention, however you want to look at it here, for the most, I guess you would say, the biggest fall from grace, the biggest trip over your dick, however you want to look at it here. For me, it's Charles Air Jourdain. That dude came into 2023 with a goddamn freight train of hype and momentum behind him, and somehow has managed to just derail that motherfucker off into the desert and let it disappear like a ghost. It is just evaporated. All the push, all the momentum he had behind him is fucking gone. All that Ilya Taporia nonsense he had so many different opportunities to capitalize on the hype that he had around him in 2023 and failed to really do so at every fucking turn. So Charles Jourdain is my honorable mention, but my actual full-on can of the year nominee is Jared Gordon. That motherfucker had a literal silver platter laid out before him and decided that he wanted to dance on it. He didn't want to fucking eat. He would rather piss on it and then try to pretend that the failure doesn't mean anything because he's still reaching out to help people. So fucking what? Dana White still does a whole bunch of charity, and it doesn't make up for the dumb shit that he fucking did. Just because you're doing good somewhere doesn't mean failing elsewhere is negated. If your job is to fight and you can't fight, I don't give a fuck how much money you're raising for charity, because that's not the conversation that we're having. The charity folks are going to be real happy that you're raising money for them. Meanwhile, the fight fans are left fucking wanting. How long has Jared Gordon been in the UFC? When was the last time he got a genuine, significant victory worth talking about? He's more famous for losing to Patty than he is for any win he has on his entire fucking resume. We're done. We don't need a 2024 Jared Gordon. That being said, Tatsu retire, goddammit. Tatsu retire.
Yeah, I fully agree with Tyra. I think Jared Gordon may be a little surprising on the can, but I agree with you. Just like me fucking throwing Aljamain in there. It's good shit.
Yep. So, that being said, I know there's a lot of casual fans who just watch because they don't like wrestling. They want to see somebody get punched in the face and fall the fuck down. So we would be remiss if we didn't have ourselves a KO of the year category here. There were several noteworthy knockouts in 2023. So I'm curious what you gentlemen narrowed yours down to.
All right. I will give you my opinion, best KO of the year, and then my honorable mention. My best KO of the year goes back to UFC 290 on July 8th of this year. So middle of the year, about 6 months ago. Robbie Lawler versus Nico Price. Robbie Lawler fucking flatlines Nico Price and fucking retires. Greatest fucking knockout all year. What a way to go out of your career, but on a knockout victory. You couldn't ask for a better storybook ending to such a great former champion. Like, there was a long downhill slide for him, but to finish it off in that fashion and just be done and know it was time made it all worth it. My honorable mention goes to Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje at UFC 291, where Justin Gaethje fucking flatlines Dustin Poirier for the BMF title. That's fantastic fight. I was expecting a lot more violence than what we got. It was a lot of violence. It was just very short. But honorable mention to me. Fucking loved every minute.
All right, for me, I got my own honorable mention. It was Volkanovski getting knocked out by Islam. That is where it's the honorable mention. It wasn't, what you consider the most typical knockout, but it's the only time we've ever seen Volk get finished in his MMA career. It was definitely pretty fucking impressive. Even though it was a short notice fight, he tried taking that shit on like 10 days notice. You know, that was a hell of a fucking challenge. We all kind of knew it. Didn't necessarily think it was going to be the same as that first fight went. But God damn it, that was a hell of a fucking surprise. Just throw that out there as the honorable mention. And then for me, the knockout of the year was just because it was the scariest. We just saw that last weekend. Like Josh Emmett laying the fuck out of Bryce Mitchell, and then we're all sitting here going crazy on Zoom and shit. Oh fuck, and then see that convulsions started happening. You change your entire fucking attitude real quick. It's that normal, typical moment of excitement. Oh shit, somebody's got knocked out, and immediately the reality of life again. That none of us ever want to see anybody truly be harmed or hurt in this fucking sport. You always want to see everybody go home safe to their fucking families at the end of the day. And thank God Bryce is cool. But that was a hell of a fucking knockout, man. Just literally one motherfucking punch laid him out and potentially could have killed the guy. It just brought that little bit of realism back to the fact that these dudes could actually die at any point in time while we're watching these fights. They actually put their lives on the line every time they get in the cage. So it's just that resonation from that knockout. To me, it was one of the most impactful of the year. There was tons of them. Like, I love TJ's. It was definitely, like, as a fan, that was for sure one of the best of the year. Robbie Lawler fucking getting to ride his career out like that. To me, man, last weekend that was impactful. I mean, I even had buddies at work talking about it. They don't watch fights and they saw the shit online. They're like, "Oh, dude, yeah, who's that guy that got laid out? I saw like in the first round. It looked like he was dead." You normally don't hear people talking about the shit when they don't watch fights, and it was actually a talking point at work this week. So yeah, it was impactful in my opinion. So that's mine. Honorable mention knockout of the year.
Definitely agree with that as well, for sure. My honorable mention, TJ covered Robbie Lawler versus Nico Price. Man, the fact that he fucking laid him out and then rode off into the fucking sunset, like that chef's kiss. That you could not ask for a better way to send off a fucking career like Robbie Lawler's than the way that he did that. But my actual winner for knockout of the year, I feel not only was just a touch better in terms of the knockout itself, but for me at least, the fact that I got to witness it with these two fucking peepers right here. And that is Edson Barbosa teaching poor Billy Q the hard lesson about 40-year-old knees. And sometimes they ain't as soft as you fucking think they are, son. Because when you eat them, they send you to fucking sleep. Edson versus Billy Q gets my knockout of the year. Partial though it may be.
UFC Kansas City, can't go wrong there.
Damn
Fuck
right.
yeah, man. That was a hell of a time. That was a hell of a knockout. We also got to see Raw Dog fucking knocking out Mateus Nicolau. That was a good
Sir.
fucking card. We got to see multiple
Yes, sir.
knockouts, man. Love it. Love that shit.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I agree though. All of those fucking good knockouts this year, man. There were some serious ones. So then on the other side of that, if you love the knockouts, there are those of us on the other proverbial side of that coin here that are in it for the jiu-jitsu. We like the subs, whether it's a choke, whether it's a fucking armbar, whether it's a fucking twister. We saw some incredible submissions in 2023 as well. So I'm curious, gentlemen, what was your 2023 submission of the year?
It would help if I fucking unmuted myself before I decided to try to talk. All right, I'm gonna start with my fucking honorable mention here. So going back to March 11th, fucking UFC Fight Night, Rafael Sancho and Davy Grant. Davy Grant finishes Rafael Sancho with an inverted triangle. Not something you see in MMA very often. You're more apt to see that in a submission grappling event than you are fucking in MMA. Fantastic, honorable mention. Loved every minute of that. My submission of the year, though, goes to UFC Fight Night from August 12th of 23. So another middle of the year one. And that is going to be Damon Blackshear and Jose Johnson. Blackshear gets a fucking twister in round one. Round one. What a look. Of all of the submissions we talk about, a twister is one of those very few that you don't see often. It's similar to like seeing a Peruvian necktie, a ninja choke. You don't see those very often. Twisters, in my opinion, are one of the coolest fucking submissions, and I don't know why it is not in everyone's repertoire, because a lot of the back takes that we see, they end up in a position where they could get to a twister very easy. And I'm screaming at the TV a lot, go for the fucking twister. It's right there. Put his arm behind your head, reach around his, and just crank. No, but we get them every once in a while. Damon Blackshear finally gets to add his name to a very short list of competitors who have pulled that off, all started by the Korean Zombie.
Hell yeah. I love that TJ touched on some of the cooler fucking ones that we saw this year. To me, my honorable mention is John Jones. Like, just coming back after being off 3 years and fucking making it look so damn easy against one of the most athletic heavyweights. You know, just choking, taking Cyril down like it was nothing. As soon as he misses the punch, boom, takes the dude down, submits him. I mean, none of us really saw it going any different, but it was definitely impressive. So I'll give it the honorable mention in the sense of a submission. But the thing that impressed me the most, and maybe, recency bias a little bit, but last weekend it kind of blew me away. I mean, Shavkat's a fucking phenom, but to be the first one to ever submit Wonder Boy was one of my fucking big submissions of the year. That's what I wanted to throw down. I just wanted to give that kid the credit where it's due. He's finished every single fucking fight that he's had. And to go out there against Wonder Boy, even if he is 40 years old now, and finally be the one to submit that guy, it's some impressive fucking shit. Kid's got a lot of talent. It was a hell of a submission to see this year.
That it
Not to mention,
was.
we actually talked about it in the moment too. This was the one time that Wonder Boy finally got Tenacious D to walk him to the fucking cage. And it's the first time in his entire career that he gets submitted, man. Shavkat's
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah, fucking old Jack Black and JD. That was a rough one. Great fucking submission though, and definitely Shavkat goes down in history for it.
I absolutely agree. So, my honorable mention of the year, same one that Christian mentioned here, John Jones versus Cyril Gane. It might not have been the prettiest, but it was one of the most significant submissions of 2023. By stepping back in less than 5 minutes, John Jones reaffirmed himself back into the conversation, the unavoidable side of the conversation in the MMA landscape. So you can't deny that that choke, weird as it might have been, was significant in 2023. In my opinion, there was only really one submission that was more significant in 2023 than that John Jones versus Cyril Gane. And that was back in July when we learned exactly where Kevin Lee fit into all of this, thanks to Renat Fakhretdinov. In less than 1 minute, he ended Kevin Lee's entire career. Not only did he choke him out, he choked him out of the UFC in less than a 60-second stopwatch. That's a big fucking deal for all the comings and goings, the longevity of Kevin's career, goods and bad though it may have been. Renat stepped in less than 1 fucking minute and ended the whole goddamn thing with a choke. That's fucking serial, man. That's fucking serial. That being said, that leaves us with, in my opinion, the most important category of 2023 if you're doing a countdown like this. And that's the fight of the year. Full stop. 2023 had some undeniably historical fights, top to bottom. Some huge ones because of what happened, some huge ones because of the implication of the results, but huge nonetheless. There were plenty of them in 2023. So, gentlemen, which one for you takes that shining beacon as the fight of 2023 for you?
This is the one category where I felt an honorable mention is not worth it to me. This one goes back to UFC 286, which would be March 18th of this year. Fight of the year, in my opinion, Justin Gaethje, Rafael Fiziev. Gaethje was coming off of a loss to Charlie Olives for the title and had to reassert himself that he still fucking belongs. And boy, did he fucking ever. Because he threw down with Fiziev. Fiziev did not give in. He outstruck him like 100 and some odd fucking significant strikes to like 80 or some shit. So they put on a fucking war. And honestly, one of the most memorable fights of the year for me.
So for me, I'm going to give an honorable mention a little bit just because it happened earlier this year. It was one of the best fights of the year. The first fight between Islam and Volk. I mean, that was a pretty damn exciting fight. Really competitive, back and forth. Not as much of a war as we maybe would like. You know, they didn't do as much damage to each other. So it's like that's kind of the part of the honorable mention. It was extremely competitive, you know, high pace, all that. It was a good fight. But I feel like, again, maybe recency bias, but I also want to give some love to some ladies here. But trashed on them in the last podcast. I thought both of those ladies' fights here in this fucking last card of the year were just going to be absolute snoozers. You know, wasted time to try to pay attention to it. But Carol Rosa and fucking Irene Aldana fucking threw it down and gave us one of the most exciting fights that we've had this entire fucking year. And for some ladies to go out there, throw fucking down like that, be bloodied the fuck up, still both swinging for the fucking fences at the end of it. That's what we're fucking here for. As fight fans, that's what you want to see. And that's, I feel like, why the women side of MMA is still kind of underrated, in all honesty, because not a lot of women just go out and do that. You know, maybe they're worried about their looks or something, but you don't see the women doing that same shit like the dudes all the time. We've seen it, but it's like a handful of moments where you've seen that. So it's for me, whether it was recent or not, they wanted to show some love to those ladies because for sure that was the ladies' fight of the year. But I feel like you can't just comment that. That was literally one of the best fights of the year that we just fucking saw this past week in between those two. And just like always, them showing love to each other in the fucking hospital, literally faces mashed to shit in that picture. Just like fucking so many fights that we've seen before, Yair Rodriguez and Max Holloway. You always love to fucking see it. Dan Hooker, fucking Jalen Turner earlier this year after they fucking had their back and forth. The same thing. You always love to see that shit too. Wanted to give the ladies some love on that.
Definitely understand that as well. Excuse me. If you choose to go honorable mention on this, I completely understand. I do fall on the golf tee side of this one here. I do feel like for fight of the year, it's got to be fight of the year here. There's not really an honorable mention category in my opinion. That being said, I'm also splitting the hair right down the fucking middle here because I call 1A and 1B. There are two fights to me that equally and identically for the exact same fucking reason embodied everything that I love in 2023 MMA. Both of them, granted, are a fair bit recent, but they both to me embodied exactly why. And I'll tell you here. The first one was Khalil Roundtree Jr. versus Anthony Smith. That's my 1B. That ties with my 1A dead even with Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell. And the reason that those two are 1A and 1B for me, because in both of those situations, we saw the difference between a prize fighter and a martial artist. We saw discernibly knockouts that could have in both situations should have been stopped faster than the referee got to the down fighter. And in both situations, there was every opportunity for the victor to have landed at least one or two more detrimental shots to guys who didn't fucking need it. And in both situations, both gentlemen chose willingly to take the fucking high ground and to stall and to stand and to look at the fucking referee and to make him do his fucking job rather than inflict unnecessary damage on another human being. And both of them mentioned specifically in their post-fight press conferences that that's why they did what they did, because they both knew immediately they did not need to land more damage. They had done their job. It was time for the referee to do his. And both gentlemen could have changed someone's career and most definitely someone's life had they not. And both gentlemen chose to wait and take the high ground. That's why it's 1A and 1B for me.
Gotta love the Mark Hunt school of thought on those guys. I fucking love it.
It
Yeah, I
makes
love
me
it
so
too.
proud as an MMA fan.
Yeah, that's
That
good
was the
shit.
Super Samoan started that. Mark Hunt
Yep.
fucking hit him, quit him, walk away.
There's no reason for it. Yeah. That's how I see my best of 2023. Gentlemen, thank you both for coming on this insane fucking journey of 2023 with me. I look forward to the shenanigans, the shit talk, and the fuckery and the fight announcements we get up to in 2024. That being said, we have got a couple of weeks here, though it's not what we choose to celebrate in my household. Should you choose to, happy Honda Days unto you. Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, Merry Festival of Lights, happy Saturnalius, whatever you choose to celebrate. If you choose to celebrate anything, excuse me, I hope that you have a good one. I hope you all spend this time off responsibly. There is no reason to drink and drive. There is always a designated driver available. Please don't be stupid. We look forward to seeing all of you back in 2024. There are plenty of big things in store. I promise you, the fun and fuckery does not end just because we're on Christmas break. That being said, when we wrap things up here Thursday night, that is not the end of the fun or the fuckery, because tomorrow morning, just like pretty much every Friday morning, that gentleman right, oh wait, no, he's over there. that gentleman right over there and his other half throw their podcast out into the ether for you all to enjoy. Spreaker.com/slowbakeandcontemplate. The link for that, as well as their socials and their channel over on the I'm No Joe Discord server, all down below for you to enjoy. Go check those boys out. You don't want to miss it.
Appreciate you, brother. As you said, happy holidays to everybody. Fucking stay safe, spend time with the loved ones, and can't wait to fucking see y'all back next year. Appreciate you boys for giving me the opportunity to do this with you for the past almost couple of years now. Love and appreciate you and enjoy fucking getting to be a part of it. And then, as always, the fun doesn't fucking stop. Once we get through the weekend, no fights for the next couple of weeks. But you still can tune in every fucking Wednesday night. You'll learn some shit about your vapes. You'll learn some new recipes. Just chill, have a good time with the brother Golf T Vapes over on his YouTube channel. Tune in to the Foggy Fairway every Wednesday night around 9:30. I'm sure the brother will still be having some fun, teaching all y'all some tricks, even though the holiday season's coming up. Maybe you take this next week off. You still go over there, show the brother some fucking love every Wednesday night.
I appreciate it. Thank you. We may or may not take the week off. Still don't know yet. It's all going to depend. But as everyone else has beaten the dead horse here, have a happy holiday season. Celebrate whatever the fuck you celebrate. However you celebrate it, don't care. Do it safely. Enjoy family time if that's what you do, or whatever. You need a fucking sober driver. There's always taxis. There's fucking Ubers. I don't know if Lyft is still a thing or if they've got bought out or whatever. But still, call a friend. Call your fucking mom. They'll be glad to pick you up and save you a trip to jail. Now, if you weren't aware, Meter, even though it is Festivus, does more than one thing. In fact, it does many things. Many, many things. So if you go down below, there's a link there. Linktree/ the Meter does many things. And also use Linktree/ I'm No Joe to take you to each and every one of those things that the Meter does do. So if you're a little bored this holiday season or over the next 4 weeks, just go click that link. That'll give you plenty of things to do and learn about all of the many things that the Meter does do. Have a great 2024. Ring it in right.
Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. That being said, that is going to be all that we have got for our final 2023 episode. So remember, if you like what we get up to around here, please give us a thumbs up on whatever platform you're on. It does help. Make sure you're subscribed and your notifications are turned on so you don't miss it when we come back to kicking this shit off in 2024. YouTube.com/I'm No Joe. Pretty much every Thursday there are fights to talk about. You will catch us in video format here going through all the fun shit. The week after we go live here on YouTube, it goes up in all audio format, anchor.fm/I'm No Joe. It goes out on all podcast consumption platforms. Whatever you are into, whatever you use to listen to stuff, it's available there. Go pick us up. We'd appreciate it. If you like what we do, tell a friend over the holiday season. We'd love to get some new viewers. Our numbers are growing. We're always welcoming new folks to the fun and the fuckery here. That being said, the other side of that coin, if you don't like what we get up to around here, first and foremost, what the fuck are you doing this deep into a show that you didn't like? First and foremost, give us that thumbs down and then go fuck yourself. We won't even dispute it. That being said, that is all we have got for 2023. Thank you all to everyone who has come along this journey with us, whether you're listening to us, whether you're watching us, whether you're just telling your friends about these idiots that talk shit on the internet. We don't fucking care either way. Thank you. That is all we have got for this. And remember, boys and girls, don't let ignorance stop you. You can root for anything.
fast as lightning. In front it was a little bit frightening. How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times